Welcome to Extra Point on Southwestern Montana News, brought to you by 82 Coffee Company, Susan McCray Accounting, and Town and Country Foods. In the studio today, Montana Western head football coach Ryan Norris. Welcome, Ryan.
Thanks, Wally.
First of all, congratulations on a couple of things. First Frontier Conference outright championship since 1995, and Frontier Conference Coach of the Year. So congrats on a couple of different fronts.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, it's humbling, to have your peers, say, you did a good job, and to get an award like that. But it's a team award. So without the staff and the players, none of those things really occurs. So, really the thanks goes to them.
Well, and, what a way to say goodbye to Vigilante Field. The score wasn't exactly what we wanted it to be, but I tell you, what an amazing day. The number of football alums that came back, the number of Western grads that came back. I mean, the stadium was full, the Western side full. I know the score would have been nicer to be on flip-flopped a little bit, but you had to say the atmosphere that day was pretty special.
Yeah, it was a good atmosphere. I feel like all of our games are like that, but that was especially charged and well attended. And they saw a pretty good football game. Obviously, would have liked to come out on top of that one, but just it wasn't going to be ours to have.
Well, and let's say, as you look back on the season, the whole 2023 season was special.
Yeah, it was a great year. It was an enjoyable group of guys to coach, and I thought we had a lot of really strong performances and really good leadership. And we played some really good games, found out a lot about ourselves, and it was just a fantastic year, and hopefully we'll have another one similar.
Well, 2024 team looks pretty good. You have a lot of talent coming back on both sides of the ball, plus special teams.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't win the games on paper, right? So there'll be a lot of things that are going to need to occur, in the next however many months in preparation for next year's season, and I think the guys will be up to the challenge.
Well, you had good representation on the All-Conference team
Yes.
as well. We're still waiting for All-American. I believe all that's released after the national championship game, but the Bulldogs did very well in All-Conference.
Yeah, we did. I believe we had 7 first-team guys, and that was that was good. And I think the guys were deserving of the awards that they got. And we had really good players on both sides of the ball get mentioned in there. And it was again just deserving of what they did and the type of season that they put together.
Well, now you back off a wee bit. You don't have to watch film. You don't have to do game plans and stuff like that. But you're not taking afternoon naps.
No, you got to get right back after it. There's only one place where success comes before work, and that's in the dictionary. So you got to get to work on the next phase and recruiting and putting a strong group together of high school players for next season and some transfers to maybe help you in the immediate future, and get ready to go. And then you got to train your athletes. You don't take much time off if you want to stay where you're at or if you want to improve.
Well, recruiting has changed a lot. You go back 20 years and you're on the road a lot. You're finding out where the good places to eat are in the little Montana towns and whatnot. But now things are done just a little bit different.
Yeah, now most of your travel is done in the spring, and you see a lot of players in the summertime at camps, and more young people come and visit earlier now than they have before. So, that's really kind of changed your travel schedule on that, where, and it wasn't very many years ago, at this time, you'd be jumping in a car and you'd be really digging guys up and going to every town and that, where it's just really not a necessity any longer.
Well, you have Zoom calls too that you can
Absolutely,
get right in
yep.
the family.
We just did a couple there yesterday, and you do you do Zoom calls, you FaceTime, you have cell phones. I mean, the kids are smattered all over social media, and so there's challenges now that you didn't face before that were a little bit different. I look back on the days of driving into towns and trying to find the lights of the stadium to get to the school as pretty comforting with a lot of the things that we do now, but we still, I think, are probably old school in comparison to most of our competitors, in that most of our players aren't social media heavy users, and we've gotten to know them very, very well over a period of time, and then we make those decisions based on our relationships that we've built, and what young men are going to study, what they want, what their goals are academically, and then on the culture of our program.
When it comes to what you're looking for, I know I've asked you this question before. Do you have any set areas, or do you just basically say, okay, we're going after all positions because you want to build that team, you want to build the depth?
It's always really all positions. It's fast guys and line of scrimmage players. It's really the two areas that you need to have the numbers at and have really explosive guys at. I mean, that's really the reasons why we were as successful as we were is, we have good team speed. We had excellent team speed at our wide receiver and running back positions this year, and we're very good up front on both sides of the ball. So we put premiums on those. And, really as it comes down to it, we're really looking for hungry, driven, and competitive guys. And, there's requisites in some areas, size, speed, strength, you want those things. But when the characteristics come right down to it, those hungry, driven, competitive guys and guys who really love to play football are normally the ones who make it.
Well, academically too, Montana Western offers something that no other school in this geographic area offers, and that's the block. How much does that figure into the decision of these young men coming here for not only to play football, but to get an education?
For most of them, it's one of the top items. The uniqueness of it can sometimes help us maybe get a foot in the door with some young men who don't really know anything about the Frontier Conference or Dillon, Montana, or Montana Western, and then as you come down to it, to want to study in that way is a deciding factor for many of our recruits.
Okay, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with some closing thoughts on Extra Point. We'll be back after this.
Looking for made in Montana food products? Look no further than Town and Country Foods of Dillon.
Back to Extra Point, and in the studio, Montana Western head football coach Ryan Norris. And Ryan, I got to ask you, once you get, you don't have the season to worry about, you don't have those early morning film sessions, players meeting, position meetings and stuff, and then you move into recruiting, and that's a whole different workload.
Yeah.
But when all that is over with, how does Ryan Norris spend what little free time he has? On the golf course, fly fishing? Let's let the folks know other interest of Coach Norris?
Yeah, I like to golf. I'm not as good at it as I would like to be. I think that's one of the things I enjoy about golf is I'm not naturally gifted at it. So to be average, I have to work at it. So I do that in the summertime, and I don't fish enough, but I would like to fish a little bit more. At some point, I like to make sure that my yard and landscaping is on point. There, this time of year I watch a little college football and then the Philadelphia Eagles, and
You and Phil Willett.
yeah, and outside of that, I don't know, binge watch some PBS and some Netflix maybe. I'm a pretty boring guy, to be honest with you.
That's fine, because people look at you as the guy on the sidelines with the clipboard, the whistle around your neck, and whatnot. And we need to turn it around that you're a guy, just a regular Joe. His job happens to be coaching football.
Yeah. So I'm not very excited.
Okay, that's going to put the wraps on our 2023 Bulldog football season. Next year, what do you say we do our first extra point from the 50-yard line of the new stadium?
Sure, if the weather's nice, I'm in.
That sounds good. Okay, so thank you for joining us for Extra Point, brought to you today by 82 Coffee Company, Susan McRae Accounting, and Town and Country Foods. We'll see you next time on Extra Point.